Hey, Matt, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. Talk a little bit now that you've gotten a little more settled with the team. Have you given any thoughts to long-term plans, what you'd like, anything in that arena? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm super happy here, and this is a great place to be. This is a great style of play. I think we've all talked about it. It's new for me, so it's something I'm adapting to. But I really like having the ball, and I like controlling the game. I think it shows confidence when you do so, and so I really like the style of play. I really love the people here, and for me, it's taking one game at a time. Right now, the thing that's on my mind is going and getting 3 points against Miami.
Good.
Thanks. So it appears clear from the outside looking in that you're the guy who's the number one is going to get the last games. But throughout the course of the season, Nick has been pretty clear that it's always been this competition. So how much of that, number one, helped you get into the position you are now, just how you were mentally preparing for that? And do you feel pretty certain that you got the rest of the way?
Yeah, that's up to Nick and Rob to decide who's getting the rest of the way. Again, the thing that I control is how I perform against Miami. If it is me that's playing, and so I'm confident that I can go in there and do well. In 2 days, it's time to just focus on that.
Can you specify, you got the whole team in front of you, and you've been observing these recent games, in particular the last two. What in your mind has improved? Where is the
Yeah, it's I know what you're saying, because we get two big wins kind of back to back, and that hasn't happened for quite some time. And I've said this before, I don't think we're not doing that many things differently. It's just that those ones went our way. We're controlling the game in most of the games that we're playing in. We're creating chances in most of the games that we're playing in. Our expected goals are higher than the opponent's expected goals in most of the games that we're playing in. So despite the result being different, I don't think that we're actually necessarily doing a lot different.
And how about one more follow-up, please,
Yeah.
Esteban? The emergence of Tyler Magno, and I don't mean to say it the other way, that he's been slumping throughout the year in terms of producing goals. But the last two games, he's been involved. But when he scored the goal against Orlando, can you describe what it meant to the team and to him? Based on you were further away. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you ran
I almost ran up. I was really, really happy for him. He has he has all the talent in the world, and he's young. People I think forget how young he is. He's been here this is his third year here, I believe. And so when someone's here for an extended period of time, you might not remember how young they are. So there are things that younger players have to learn, and he worked his butt off for the last 4 or 5 months without maybe getting the recognition that he wanted, and the time that he wanted, and the goals that he wanted. And so when that moment came for him, I was very happy for him, but I think the entire team, we were just I think proud is the right word. He handled himself really well and worked really, really hard, and so it's an example of someone really deserving that spotlight in that moment.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the Zoom, Juan Carlos.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for the time. Just wanted to ask you, it's a tough opponent. They come from a tough result yesterday. How do you prepare, knowing that they're probably going to be hungry for a victory, and knowing that they also are in the hunt for the playoffs? And how do you prepare against such a motivated rival?
I would say at this point in the season, every team that we're playing is very motivated. So I don't think necessarily anything needs to change about the way that we're preparing. We got to prepare for an intense game, for a real game of soccer, because they like to have the ball, we like to have the ball. So tactically it might be a little different from some of the other ones, but I would say mentality-wise and things like that, we just prepare the same way that we've prepared for the last few games and we've prepared all year long. Yeah.
Oliver?
Sorry about that. Hi, thank you. You've been playing with Burke Risa and Thiago Martins these last 5 games. It's been a pretty steady lineup. In the defense in previous weeks, there's a bit of a mix and match. Can you talk about the chemistry that is happening between you and what it's like to play with Risa and Thiago Martins? I'll editorialize a little bit. It seems to me that they're kind of boring, but in a good way. Like they're just very solid. There's not a lot of drama in the back line. Wondering if you could comment on that.
Yeah, I don't know if boring is the right word actually, but they're steady. You know, they're steady. There's it's almost and I've said this about goalkeepers, about myself, but on the defensive side of things, if you're not noticeable, it typically means you're doing your job correctly. So and we are really working on that chemistry. Burke got here a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Right away, we could tell he was going to be important to the team, and he really vibed well with everyone on the team immediately. And Thiago is obviously the amazing leader that he is, and so us three, along with everyone else in the back line, as well as the sixes, we're doing a lot of work on the field and off the field to maintain that chemistry and that understanding of each other and what we want on the field, as well as doing that in the video room.
John Lupo?
Hey Matt, so obviously I at least don't know if Messi's going to play in this match or not. I was wondering if you happened to catch any of the game last night, considering he didn't play, and I know that Houston and yourselves play different styles, but did you feel like, if you did see even highlights of that match, did you feel like maybe the Dynamo at least offered a template of how to play Miami when Messi's not in there?
So yes, I watched the game. I watched the whole game. Honestly, my focus is not on whether or not Messi's playing. My focus is on getting 3 points, and I think paying too much attention to 1, 2, 3 players is dangerous. And so I think they play the same style regardless, and that's what we've gone over in film, and that's the attitude that we have on the team. Is no matter who's playing, we're going there for 3 points.
Christian?
Hi Matt, you talked at the top there about the adaptation process tactically with this team. Did anything surprise you personally during that process as you took in a new style and a new approach?
Sorry, yeah, could you just repeat the question?
Sure, so you talked at the top about the tactical adaptation that you undertook when you came to the club. I'm curious if anything surprised you personally about that process.
I think I've always knew that goalkeepers are, in this possession-based style, goalkeepers are important and they're part of the possession. But one thing that I really had to learn is not necessarily just like a passive participant in this build-up and in the possession of the ball. I'm much more active in my positioning, and my decision-making and timing can not just help us maintain the ball, but also disrupt their press entirely. And so that's kind of that next step that I'm taking is, can I not just maintain the ball, but can I actively help break down their press?
Back to the room, we'll go with Glenn.
Yeah, to follow up on that, so what we've seen, and this is becoming maybe even across CFG, some of the other clubs within CFG, but the goalkeeper is coming up to be connected almost as part of the back four, the back three. So when you talk about breaking the press, is that what you mean? That you're high enough where you're connected with them, and then that's what's really happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's at different points you go forward, at different points you come back, and so it's not always like set in stone, but just something that Rob and I have talked about is knowing when to be somewhere and knowing where to be and when to be there,
Yeah.
so that I can take a more active role in the breakdown of their press rather than, just the old school possession style of just get the ball and pass to someone else.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Have you ever been this high up the field in your goalkeeping life?
Not in my goalkeeping life, but I played center back in the past. I played striker my senior year of high school. So
How many goals?
I played, I think, 3 games and I had 2 goals, so it wasn't terrible.
So you're okay coming up for corner kicks late in the game if you
I don't
need
know
the ball.
about that. Hopefully we don't need that.